Every now and then I get a message from someone who found me through my YouTube, my Instagram, or whatever. And they're pretty much just blatantly asking for help. And normally I look for ways to try and help people, but most times the people who ask for help or reach out, they approach it in all the wrong ways. Where to start? So first off, I don't know you. If you're asking for my help, don't assume that I know you. You're a stranger to me. I have people that I already have responsibilities and obligations to, but I don't know you. I don't know where you live. I don't know your situation. I don't know what you're good at. I don't know anything. So first, don't assume that, hey, can you help me? Help with what? With what, bruv? Like it's hard to give a useful answer when all you just say is, can you help me? So that's first. Second is, don't assume that I am entitled to respond to you, or anyone for that matter, whenever you reach out for help, especially if that's literally just like the first message and you haven't provided any value, you haven't established any sort of rapport or communication, you're just asking for help. And especially if you do it and you're not even polite or even construct your message in a proper way, like use sentences, break everything up into paragraphs, but you just send like a wall of text. You know, it's like you're giving me extra work to filter through and parse to actually be able to give you some decent information. So make an effort on your end. Next is another thing that happens often is that and this is mostly for young guys, but I think it applies to everyone in general. One big problem with social media is that it doesn't capture nuance. And that's something that I always try to make an effort to clarify in my videos when I share thoughts, my opinions and thoughts on a specific topic, because social media doesn't do well with nuance. And very common advice, and I know that I promote this advice as well, but very common advice in just like the personal development space, self-improvement or entrepreneurship, whatever, all the modern gurus, let's call them, or influencers, they all promote to basically not work a job, fuck school, fuck a job. None of that's gonna work. It's all pointless and worthless and yada yada. And again, the nuance, like I understand it and I agree with it, but there's nuance to it, because I, at one point in my life, worked regular boring ass jobs. I worked as a help desk attendant at a library. All I had to do was basically check people in and sort books from time to time. I also worked for an internet service provider company where I was just like an assistant. I wasn't even doing the actual installation of the antennas and shit. All I had to do was literally, if the actual installer needed me to get him like tools, screwdrivers, or carry things up to the roof, that was my job. That was it. And nowadays, especially young guys, they're basically saying that it's not worth it to work. And granted, I understand that everything is fucking expensive and it keeps getting expensive. And yes, you need to look for ways to work on yourself, build your value so that you can start making more money outside your job or more at your job, or look for ways to increase your income. But the truth is, if you don't know how to do anything, you don't have any skills, if you are useless, it's gonna be very hard for you to make any fucking money. That's the truth. And the problem with the point I was making earlier about skipping jobs or not wanting to work job because it's not worth it. If you're like, because this happened, right? I'll get like 20 or 21-year-olds asking for help or advice, and they're saying, oh, I don't want to work a job because it's not worth it. I'm trying this and that. It's like, cool, bro. But when I was 20, I was broke too. And I didn't know jack shit. And me working those jobs, those boring, dead-end, low-paying jobs, they teach you things. They teach you life experience, because at the end of the day, there are certain things that will never change. You have to interact with people on a daily basis. So it doesn't matter if you want to work for yourself, if you're going to be working at a company for a boss, whatever your situation, if you're going to be selling something, you're going to have to learn to interact with people. Same thing, if you want to run a business, build a business, work a job, you need to be able to show that you are responsible, that you're disciplined, that you complete your work and your task and follow up on what you say, and you get done what you say you're going to get done. And that has nothing to do with oh, this job isn't worth it, so I'm just gonna skip it, or I don't want to go to school because education is a scam, yada yada. Those are all meta skills and soft skills, if you want to call them, that you have to learn, and they all add points to your character. If you want to look at it like a video game analogy, you have to invest in yourself. And the truth is, most people at 20 are useless. Most people at 25 are useless. That's the truth. Now, yes, I understand there are differences, especially, let's say, for example, you're born in a third world country. I understand there are differences as far as infrastructure, capital, opportunities, yada yada. But most of the times, like, if you have the time to be consuming content and leaving comments on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, that means you either have a phone or laptop and you also have internet access. So then it's not a matter of you not having access to the information. It's just the focus and knowing what to consume that will actually make your life better. Because if you're just consuming content to either entertain yourself or content that does not directly apply to your situation, you're just wasting time. And the problem, again, with social media is that all of these fucking influencers that perpetuate this point make it out to believe that everyone is an exception, when that is very much not the case. The truth is, not everyone can be a fucking, like, fuck school, fuck work, I'm gonna be a fucking millionaire at 20 because you started this business and I don't know, with whatever it is, like AI automation, crypto, drop shipping, e-com, whatever it is. But that's just not how it works. Some people, just like when I say that you're not ready or you're not skilled yet, you have to build yourself up to be able to be the type of person who can succeed in those endeavors. There's a reason why traditionally a lot of entrepreneurs, because everyone looks at the entrepreneur who got fucking uber rich in their early 20s, but no one looks at the entrepreneurs that got rich for sure, because let's say from 20 to 30, they worked corporate, they worked at a job, they worked on themselves, they experienced the personal growth that was needed and the skill development that was needed, so that then when they went off to do their own thing, they already built themselves. It's not the same as starting from zero. That's why a lot of young kids who consume all this content and follow this advice early without working on themselves or building any value or any tangible skills and useful skills fail. And you'll keep trying fucking businesses and you'll keep failing because you're just not good, bruv. That's it. That's just who you suck. You literally suck at everything. And sometimes you have to eat shit and you have to go to the boring jobs, to the jobs that don't pay well, to the jobs that are not gonna make you rich. Go to school, even if, truthfully, like, I went to school for computer engineering, and with this whole AI thing, my degree, I question how useful it is, because I can pretty much just ask Claude or ChatGPT and it pretty much summarizes my 5-year degree in seconds. And it's just like, I spent all this time. There's two ways to look at it. I could look at it as, oh, I just wasted my time getting my degree because it's useless now with AI. AI knows all this shit and I can just ask AI and it'll tell me the answer. Yes, that's one way of looking at it. But the other way is that first, my degree essentially taught me one thing, that with enough time and dedication, I can learn anything. And it's been extremely useful in helping me quickly pick up all these skills that are with tools that are coming out like AI, automation, etc. But if I had skipped all those years of eating shit, being broke and staying late, working on a bunch of dumbass projects that I haven't really used again, to be honest, like what I learned from those projects or some of the courses, you know, I probably wouldn't have been able to learn all those skills at the rate that I can, or be used to quickly picking them up. And, you know, learning is a meta skill in itself. So yeah, I wanted to share that advice because you have to, I understand everything's expensive. I understand that there's always like the sense of urgency, but really a lot of times, because even myself, like, it wasn't until I was around like 27 when I really started to feel that I was getting like a grip on my life and that I could actually display competence, that I could actually act on the world and not just have the world act on me. And that's 27. I actually think that's pretty late. And even today, now I'm 32, and I still have moments where I hit a gap, let's say, of my next level of development that I need to invest into to be able to get to where I want to go, or be in the rooms that I want to be in, or associate with the people that I want to associate with, etc. So all this to say, basically, sometimes you can't skip the level. Some things just take time. You can't go to the gym for one day for 10 hours and expect the same result as someone who went to the gym for 1 hour for 10 days. That's just how it is. You got to put in the work, build yourself, and be patient. That is the thing. You have to be impatient with action, but patient with results. And I know that's a very cliche answer that I used to hate myself, but it truly is. Consistency compounds. That is it. But yeah, if you have no skills, you don't know how to do anything, you can't even talk properly, I don't know what to say, man. You're cooked. That's basically it. So yeah, that's the video for today. Hope you found it valuable. Thank you for watching and making it this far. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.